Hello, friends. I'm Andrea Morris, and welcome to another edition of Spill the Wine, our podcast, which we all know by now is about wine. Today, we are having a wonderful time outdoors. It's one of our first podcasts of 2025 outdoors because it's June. When you listen to this, it's probably going to be like, the fall. But it's a beautiful day, and we are at 180 Estates Winery with Bob Murdoch and Marzia Murdoch. Marzia. It's so Italian. I'm getting it wrong. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. It's been a long time. I've been trying to get you guys our schedules to finally get together and do this. And I'm so happy that we finally have a beautiful day where we can sit outside, enjoy the beautiful views. And listener, if you hear the wind, that's Mother Nature wanting to be a part of the podcast as well. So tell me a little bit about 180. How long have you guys had this property?
So we are heading into our 5th summer. We purchased in May 2021. So when we got the keys, we were in full lockdown. So we've come a long way.
Yeah, I guess that would be hard to entertain people when you're in full lockdown. Yeah.
Yes.
What made you decide to buy this property?
It really was for a lifestyle change. Bob and I had, 30, 40 years in corporate in large city, and we were looking to reconnect with just a simpler way of life. And, every day we look out at the vineyard now and we just take a deep breath and go, thank goodness.
Well, it is a beautiful property. Now, had you looked at other places? What made you decide on this actual location?
Originally, we were looking at Prince Edward County, but the thought there was it's a little bit too far from the GTA. We figured our daughters would be settling in the GTA, so it was a bit far. We started looking out here in Niagara, looked at a bunch of different properties, but during the COVID times, the pricing market had started to boom, and it hit Mississauga first and then started coming out here. And we realized we lost a bunch of the properties we actually put bids in on. And then here we are.
That's funny because I would think during COVID prices would have actually dropped because nobody can do anything, but they boomed instead.
They boomed and boomed big. People were buying homes that they typically would not have extended themselves to do. But I guess they were at home and they were looking at their existing premises and thinking, of upgrading.
So when you bought this place, it was a working winery?
Yes, it was. It used to be Profio's. We purchased from lovely people, but you know what they say, every winery has its story, and the Profio story wasn't ours to tell. We did for a year until we really gave it some good thought on, what we would rebrand to. We wanted it to be meaningful to our family.
So why the name 180 then?
180 is all about pulling a complete 180 in life, which is exactly what we did. We left our corporate jobs. Well, I left my corporate job and Bob still works full time. And we, essentially changed direction. Even our daughters who were at that point completing their university degrees and had, career aspirations came out here and they have rethought their careers. And now they're all both fully involved in the wine industry.
It's a hard industry to not want to be a part of.
Absolutely.
And particularly in this area, in the bench area, because I think that everybody is just so supportive of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody seems to be really invested in their neighbor's success. And I think that that's something that you don't get in the corporate world.
Not at all. It was quite a surprise to me. I became very involved in the wine industry right away. And it was astounding to see how supportive and collaborative everybody was. Because when you're in corporate, you're competitors and it's just not the same.
Yeah, even within the same corporation, you're competing against each other. And there's that, who's going to stab me in the back? But, I find that it's so refreshing to be a part of an industry that is just, it's kind.
It is.
Yeah. So now when you initially bought the winery and were selling the wines, you were using most of the old stock from the previous owners?
Correct. We had about a year and a half of, let's say, inventory that to sell and get rid of. And then we started branding ourselves. Now, there was some wines in the barrels, obviously in the cellar, and some in the stainless steels. And that's, we modified or adjusted to, let's say, the profiles we wanted to do. And that was then branded 180.
Have you planted any new vines on the estate, or are you using the same ones that were always here?
Yes, we started off by planting some additional Gamay and the eastern side of the property, but then Mother Nature stepped in 2022 and killed off our Cab Sauv and some of our Cab Franc and our Sauv Blanc. So we lost about 30% of that. This whole area got hit. It wasn't just our farm; it was all the farms here in the lower benchlands. And since then, we've decided to plant almost the same varietals, the Cab Sauv, Cab Franc, but we've added some more Pinot and some more Cab Franc to the property.
And who's your winemaker now?
His name is Ramsey Kerala.
Okay.
Very passionate about his trade.
Kudos to you guys.
Awesome, thank you.
I'm really happy for you, and I'm really happy to look at the selection of wine we have in front of us.
We'd love to share it with you.
So what are we going to start off with today?
So we're going to start out with our sparkling Gamay Rosé, which is one of our top sellers, especially during the summer.
A Gamay Rosé.
This is our 2023. And
So
what's
beautiful.
unique about it is it's a sparkling made with red grapes. And Gamay Noir is so adaptable to anything. We've got it in 5 of our SKUs. It could be a sparkling. It could be just a straight, red wine, anything. It just tastes wonderful no matter how you use it.
It always does well in a rosé, I find.
It does.
But
It
a
does.
Gamay sparkling rosé it's beautiful. The bubbles on top. Is this the traditional method or?
Charmat method. Yeah. So you're going to get a lot of strawberry, raspberry, and pink grapefruit. And it's got this beautiful, lasting, persistent bubble.
It's absolutely stunning. I love the color.
Thank you.
Make a great lipstick.
What was the name of the method you said?
Charmat method. But imagine sitting on a dock in a Muskoka chair looking out at a lake. Right? It's
Yeah.
summer in a bottle.
I'm like leaning back now going like, yeah, it is summer in a bottle. It's fantastic.
Or at a vineyard.
That's right. You
Exactly,
can
yeah.
sit in the vineyard with a Muskoka chair as well.
And you could even get a bite to eat here because you have food.
Yeah, we're one of the few wineries that has its own kitchen, and its own chef. So we just absolutely enjoy welcoming people here for a full experience, whether that be, food, wine, or just we do a lot of different events as well.
Is your kitchen open all year round too, or is it just summer?
It is. However, in the winter, we do more reduced hours, but we're definitely open year round.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We just love having people come here and enjoy themselves. After COVID, that's really what our goal was, is get people out enjoying themselves, reconnect with Mother Nature, and just, if you want to have a picnic in our venue, we're happy to accommodate.
Oh, that's really nice because it's an absolutely stunning space. Listeners, I've taken a lot of photos, so you'll see that. You'll get to see it for yourself. And this is the time of year when the grapes aren't even grown yet, but the vines are looking beautiful, and you're just full of anticipation for what's coming ahead, right? But it's like hard to anticipate the next wines.
It will be difficult because we have 25 wines on the shelf.
Yeah, and we narrowed it down to just, 7 today?
7.
Yeah, so, we're going to do our best to really represent you guys. Now, speaking of summer, I know that our next wine is very summery as well.
Yes. So this is our 2024 Pinot Grigio. 100% Pinot. And the beauty of this is it's so light, crisp, and refreshing. And it's one of those Pinots that doesn't have that residual aftertaste.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hold it up to the light, it almost looks like water, which makes it a little dangerous. But you're going to get some really beautiful notes of green apple and white nectarine.
Oh, that's really nice. I like that you're not serving it too cold, because I find if you serve a Pinot Grigio too cold, you lose the flavors.
It's true. Yeah.
It's like it just becomes all about the cold as opposed to the crispness of the apples and which isn't like making it sound like cider, but it's not. I can see why my friend came all the way from Montreal to get this bottle last weekend.
That's right. She would have seen us at the Kingston the Great Cheese Festival.
Yeah.
What an amazing event.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
She was sending me photos, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like a place I need to be. But, like, she was like one photo after another of cheese. I'm like, yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Not at all.
Speaking of cheese, what cheese would you have when you're enjoying this Pinot Grigio?
Well, I'm Italian, so I'll throw a Pinot at any kind of cheese. But I'd say with this, probably just something light, like a brie. Nice creamy texture in the wine and the cheese.
Bake it with a little bit of a fruit compote on
Oh, God,
top.
yes.
And yeah.
And strawberries are in season right now.
Oh.
First strawberries are in the market.
Oh,
Can't wait.
I know what I'm going to do after this. I'm going to hit a market and get
Just
some
down the
strawberries.
road.
Yep.
That's the other beauty of this region too, listener. When you come out here, You can get beautiful wines and get the most amazing fresh fruits and vegetables, and it's all like right at your fingertips.
We absolutely love living down here. It is just, I don't know. I just love getting in the car and driving around and seeing the natural beauty of the area. And to your point, you can always see a farmer's market or another winery. I love going to other wineries.
And there's always a new one popping up.
Yes.
Where you're like, oh, I didn't know that one was here. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I have to go check that one out. Like, yeah. And that's the fun of discovery.
There is something really beautiful. I just wanted to jump in here because I live in Toronto.
Yes.
There is something very different being in this area. So, the vineyards. I don't know. It's like a different place. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like how winter, it's the same place, but when snow is everywhere, it feels like you've traveled.
Yes.
And so coming here, I feel like I'm in a totally different, almost big country, not even just province, you know what I mean? But it's an hour away from Toronto. So
it is.
On a good day, yeah.
On a good day.
But you can feel your stress levels just decrease. You sit outside here and, the wind's blowing right now, and you just feel like seriously, like de-stressed, like you've got wine in front of you. What is wrong with the world? Nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I can see why you guys made the move, and I'm glad you did because I'm really enjoying your wines.
One thing I'd like to say is we modify the menu during the summer or during different months to reflect the local fruits and vegetables. So we try to promote as local as much as we possibly can here.
So I'm anticipating a strawberry salad coming soon.
Whipped feta with braised strawberries.
Yum! I'll be back. So we have another summertime wine ahead of us here.
So this is the only wine that we've actually named. It's not the name of the varietal. This is called Living the Dream. Because as a family, that's exactly what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And so this is 70% Sauvignon Blanc, and the other 30% is comprised of Riesling, Muscat, and Gewürztraminer. So that little added sweetness levels out the acidity of the Sauvignon Blanc. And then what we've done is put like a beer carbonation into it so that it's effervescent, and it's so refreshing, especially on a hot day.
Oh, nice. It's got that sweet nose to it. Mm-hmm. I can smell the Gewürztraminer. Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That little bit of carbonation is just, it's very light.
Yeah, just fresh.
But really refreshing. Mm-hmm. This could probably evaporate very easily.
Very easily.
Yep.
Those days when you're sitting outside in your patio and you're just like, what happened to that bottle of wine? Mm-hmm. Like, why is it empty? This is
I can see that, and it does happen regularly here.
What's the price point on this bottle, by the way? Because that's really fun.
20.
Really?
Very cost effective.
Yeah.
We're really proud of being VQA wine. We're 100% Canadian grapes, 100% Canadian made. We would never go anywhere outside of our local area to get our grapes. And we are getting to the point where we're selling more, especially to licensees. So we're having to augment. And we have so many amazing growers in Niagara, I wouldn't think of going anywhere else.
That's great. And I know that a lot of our grapes have recently been shipped out to BC as well because they've had issues with their grapes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think particularly with the tariffs and all the stuff that's going on in the world, I think it's really important to actually discover what we have here. Like, I'm now becoming a fan of saying that this is the Napa of Ontario. I think that give it a few more years, and then the mass consciousness of Canada will actually start to realize that it's not BC that's the spotlight. It's Ontario, and particularly the bench.
Yeah, well, I think, for however difficult it is with the tariffs, it's opened people up to new possibilities and to really start to understand what's available in our own backyard. I mean, before we owned this winery, coming from the city, we didn't know a lot about things. Like, for instance, we didn't know there were domestic trade barriers. Who knew you couldn't ship wine across Canada? It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, so hopefully, Mr. Carney does well on his promise that by July 1st, and I see there's a lot of movement being made, so I'm absolutely thrilled about that. And you know what? Kudos to Mr. Ford for blocking the Californian Reds, because however painful it is for some people who are so dedicated to that, it's allowed people to try Canadian wines. And you know what? I do a lot of trade shows, and I still hear people primarily from the GTA area saying that Niagara doesn't produce great reds. And I have to say, challenge accepted.
Yep.
Come to the wineries, perhaps at the LCBO, because, of course, at the LCBO, there's more cost-effective options. But if you come out to the winery and try some of our high-end reds, and I'm about to, showcase 3 of our reds, I have people coming in saying they absolutely love.
And I will say that hands down, I think we have some of the best Pinot Noirs I've ever tasted. And the Cab Francs here and the Gamays, the Gamays are stunning. And I know that we've got one lined up, so I'm really excited.
Which leads into our bourbon barreled Gamay.
You had me at bourbon. But now we can't get, but...
We can't get, but you can get it at 180.
Right, via the barrel.
So before the trade, before the tariffs, we actually brought up bourbon barrels from Jim Beam from the U.S. And Bob, you want to tell us the story why we got into bourbon?
Sure. We had a couple up from the south, and they wanted to. They mentioned that there seems to be a lot of this bourbon red options available or coming available, and I was like, that sounds interesting. We're small batch, so we can try a few of these things. And they actually mentioned there's never been a bourbon white that they've tasted. So, like Mark just said, challenge accepted. So that's what we did. We did a bourbon red and a bourbon white. Bourbon white sold out within the first year. The bourbon red, this is its second generation right here now.
And it makes sense because you can only use a bourbon barrel once for bourbon.
That's right.
So you've got to find something else to do with it.
Yeah, we're happy to take, and you know what? We try to be as sustainable as possible. This is another option that we have now to be sustainable and purchase used barrels. You're right. Barrels can be used up to 6-7 years. So why not take advantage of that?
Yeah. And it's like when I did the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky, and it was interesting how many distilleries had a brewery or something else attached to it so that they could actually reuse the barrels.
Right.
Because barrels aren't cheap.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
But what made it's interesting that you have a Gamay bourbon barrel, because I've tasted a bourbon barreled Cab Sauv and a bourbon barreled Cab Franc, but this is the first bourbon barreled Gamay. So what made you decide that would be a good idea?
The Gamay is a softer red. And I call it maybe almost the entry reds, and mixing that into the bourbon. Because it was our first iteration, we wanted to make sure it wasn't too much bourbon, not enough bourbon, or flush out the. I don't think
you can have too much. That's just...
or flush out the the Cab Sauv or Cab Franc that we wanted to. So that's why we decided to go with the Gamay.
Yeah, but we have also produced a Cab Sauv Partial Appassimento in the Jim Beam bourbon barrel, and we'll be bottling that again in the fall. But this one is, like Bob said, this is medium bodied. It's entry level. Anyone can drink a Gamay. And it's so fruit forward. So put that, so we, 100% Gamay, 85% Gamay, 15% Partial Appassimento again. And then put that in a Jim Beam bourbon barrel for 10 months. And you get this soft and plushy, delicious wine.
Oh, it smells so good. The nose on this is beautiful. And you can smell that little hint of bourbon in there.
And it's not overpowering. It's just subtle on the end.
It's beautiful. And I will be honest with this as well. I was a Gamay hater for a long time. Once I liked Gamay, then I started drinking those big ballsy reds. And then I was like, Gamay, pugh. And now that I've moved out here and I realized that this region is really known for Gamay as well, I've re-embraced it. So,
well, the thing is, and people always talk terroir, and it's so true. We have so many differences in terroir throughout Niagara and as a whole that a Gamay, everybody could be growing a Gamay, but none of them will taste the same.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you didn't enjoy a Gamay from one property, chances are you'll enjoy it from a different one, just based on the different minerality that we find. And we are fortunate to be below the escarpment. So we have some really nice complex profiles we can work with.
Yeah, you must have a lot of sound in the soil as well,
we do.
Right? Yeah.
We do. It's sand and a clay loam. So our viticulturist calls us, we're very vigorous in our grape growing. We have to do a lot of thinning to keep the grapes to the quality we want for the wines.
Yeah, but that's what we're doing today. We have people in the fields today thinning out. And that was a really hard concept for me to get used to. The very first summer, the first harvest we had, our Cab Sauvignon, which unfortunately periled the year after, had produced so much fruit that we had to drop 50% of it. And I was walking around looking at these beautiful grapes on the ground going, I don't understand. What's this waste? But it's all about quality versus quantity. And for us, we are after the quality. We want people to, like, when you're buying a bottle of our wine, you're getting the best, not just, trying to produce twice as much.
Right. Well, I would have to say this is the best so far. This is great.
Thank you.
Loving this. But we talked about an Appassimento, so that's what we're doing next.
Well, we're doing a Ripasso.
A Ripasso, okay.
Yes.
So Bob, before you start talking about the production method, for the listener that's not familiar, what is a Ripasso?
Ripasso simply is we're repassing the juice over skins. So typically we take a wine, and in our particular case, we put it back into our large wooden vessels with the skins of a superior wine that we've already pressed. So in this particular case, it was our Cab Franc. So we press the Cab Franc and we save those skins, put them into we call it the woody, but the 25,000 or 2,500 liter barrel, and then we put the wine on top and we let that sit for a bit. We press down and then we press it again.
So is it the same variety of wine that you're putting on those skins or a different one?
It can be different. So the Ripasso is actually a blend of Cab Sauv, Cab Franc, Merlot.
Okay, so it's kind of like a Meritage, but different.
Exactly.
So what made you decide to do that? Because you're one of the few wineries in this area that does a Ripasso. Obviously, you're Italian, so it would be hard. It would be close to your soul.
Yeah, so we do use Italian production methods. Ripasso just is a nice way to make a wine. It's very soft. It's very juicy, right? And we also do an Appassimento. So you're now competing with wines like an Amarone or a Barolo, right? Like it's just, they're beautiful, deep, complex wines. And so we just wanted to add something a little more unique to our profile. And it's true, not a lot of wineries do it. Like even our Appassimento, we're probably one of 6 wineries in this region that does it. But we want to be able to showcase that there are some amazing capabilities here in Niagara, and we plan to deliver.
Although I've heard a lot of chatter that that doing the Appassimento is going to be like one of the big things in this region to come. Why would that be?
Appassimento is a very long process, and Bob's actually taken time to invest in setting up our infrastructure to be able to do that.
Yeah. So what we've done is we've outfitted a sea can to basically almost dehydrate the grapes. We handpick the grapes. We put them on trays and we put them in the sea can. And the purpose there is we want to reduce up to 40% of the moisture in the grapes before we actually start the wine process of pressing and then putting into the barrels.
So how does that affect the taste then? Does it make it sweeter, or does it make it more intense? Or
it's definitely a richer, more intense flavor from the grapes.
Gotcha. And it's just from that sitting and being compressed so much?
And reducing moisture. Water out of the grapes.
So you're getting a bigger flavor because you're not diluting it with the water. So when you're actually pressing it, then it's a shriveled up grape. You get a lot less juice coming out of that grape. It's a 3-year. After that, then there's a 3-year aging process. So some people are surprised at the cost of an Appassimento, but if you think about the complexity in developing that and producing that, I mean, it's definitely, you're putting a lot of love and effort into that one bottle.
Well, it's like when people are like gasping at the cost of an ice wine. It's like they don't understand exactly what you have to go through to make an ice wine.
Yes,
which is a tremendous process.
Yes,
but I will just go back to this Ripasso. The color is stunning.
It's a beautiful, deep cherry.
Yeah,
and I think what you'll note is just the fullness and the flavor that hits you.
For us, this one is really taking off.
Yes.
I'm afraid we didn't make enough of it. That's my concern.
Oh, your first world problems.
Yeah, exactly.
That's terrible.
Oh no, we sold out of a wine. Oh gosh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Makes me want pasta.
Full-bodied. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, we're of course bringing our product out to restaurants, and it's the steakhouses that are looking at this.
Really? That's funny. Yeah. Well done. Like for my first Ripasso in this area, I'm very excited. So now we have another beautifully, it's hard to believe that this wine is actually a deeper color than the Ripasso.
So this is our 2020 Meritage. And for those of you who love wine, know that 2020 in Niagara was a premium harvest year. Everything just lined up, and the wines that were produced in 2020 were spectacular. So this one is a blend of Cab Sauv, Cab Franc, Merlot. And this one, actually, we sent off to decanters. So these are the award ceremony in the UK. And to me, decanter really signifies us being put on the international scale. So this won gold. And so now we're up against, internationally known Italian, Spanish, French wines. And to get gold, to me, says, okay, for all those people that were doubting Ontario Reds, proof provided, right? And if you're looking for a really dry, robust wine that has legs, this is it.
I love the color of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, it's making me so excited to drink it because the color is so deep and beautiful. And I'm almost anticipating what the nose is going to be on it before I even like get to it. But absolutely stunning.
This is a beautiful steak wine.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure. This is the one.
Yeah. So this was finished in a combination of French and American oak for 36 months. So now you've got something who's sitting there. And again, our winemaker, Ramsey, I've never seen anyone love their job more than this man. Walks around here with a smile on his face every day. And of course, who wouldn't? I mean, he's drinking wine all day, but regardless, he's a man who has, he graduated top of his class at Brock in oenology, and then went on to Niagara College. But then he set out and he went to California. He worked in Bordeaux, France for a number of years, and that's why our Gamays are so amazing. And he did New Zealand and the East Coast. So he went out and he perfected his trade. And then we're very fortunate that he came back, and he has been on this property before we purchased. So he's been working here now for almost...
Since 2012.
Yeah.
So he knows the grapes and he knows the terroir.
Intimately.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Has he ever come to you with something where you're like, he's like, I got an idea for this, and you go, I don't know, but okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? Again, it's...
And vice versa.
Yeah. Sitting down around a table with a glass of wine, we collaborate very closely with him. I think Bob and I's favorite pastime is heading down to the cellar, and he goes, try this, try that. And then the chemist comes out and he goes, a portion of this, a portion of that, put it together, try that. And we're like, brilliant.
Do you have a favorite of all of your wines?
It's hard. With 25, I have several favorites. But right now with the summer, it's definitely my sparkling Gamay Rosé and then my bourbon barreled Gamay. Because again, in summer, you don't want something very heavy. And being medium bodied, I could sit out on the patio with a glass of that.
Yeah.
And for me, the Ripasso is a hit for me right now. So that would be my barbecuing glass of wine. And then I'd probably finish off with the Meritage or an Appassimento.
I think that, I'm thinking of the Ripasso. I'm like, that'd probably be really good with like some ribs.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting really hungry now. When you're talking about all this food. And ironically, we've only mentioned cheese once. Because always when I talk about wine pairing in podcasts, we always talk about cheese. But we only mentioned it once at the very beginning.
Right.
Are you ever going to do a sparkling that's not a Gamay?
Well, actually, we're bottling it today.
Oh
Today,
my God.
Actually today.
Yes.
We're going to have to come back.
We are bottling a sparkling white. And it's delicious. So yes, we wanted something a little different. I mean, our Gamay Rosé is our top seller, but who doesn't love sparkling in the summer?
No one.
Let's have a couple.
Yeah, because sparkling in the summer is just, everything about summer is effervescent. So is sparkling. It's great. Like,
exactly.
You can't not love it.
And that's the thing. So with our bistro, what we do is, we're casual affairs. So we have a number of shareables and mains, just all created with pairing our wines in mind. And our chefs do a phenomenal job. And so we love the opportunity to be able to provide a full service experience for our guests.
It's nice that you have that little bistro and the beautiful surroundings. And it's like a full service winery.
It is.
You guys seem so super relaxed. It's so awesome.
Well, that's who we are, right? I mean, my goodness, we've almost been married 40 years. And so, and embark on this journey with Bob has just been such an amazing experience.
Do you guys want to expand in any way, or are you happy with things the way they are?
There's always plans to do
Always
things slightly
opportunities.
different. Just over here we have the tent, right?
Yeah.
For our big events. We would like something possibly like a barn or a bigger structure, something like that.
Or a second floor.
But
Yeah.
There's
There's zoning laws.
zoning laws there's all these things to deal with. And right now we are landlocked. We don't have any more property available to us, so we need to acquire some land to increase our production.
Or build up.
Or build up.
Yeah.
And as Mart said, there are lots of great farms surrounding us that do grow amazing grapes that we can leverage. I think our production is we're being outpaced on sales versus production, so we need to increase our grape intake.
I'm really
so
happy to
speak.
hear that, though, because it's like I love success stories in this region, and I love that you guys came out here and believed in it. And it's so great to see that and to see the evolution of what you're doing, and like your thought process. And these wines are just so spectacular. Like, listener, I would encourage you to come out here and visit Bob and Marzia, and do it right. You got to do it with the Italian hand. Marzia, and really like experience this. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful surrounding. Even in the winter, it's beautiful. Anytime
we
of
love
year,
it out here.
And the wines, you will not be disappointed. Thank you for taking the time to sit and talk with us. I know that we've like skirted around each other for the last couple of months, but it's really great to sit down and to hear your story.
Thank you. It's
Awesome.
a pleasure
Thank
to
you.
welcome you here, Andrea.
Well,
Thank you.
You know what? I will be back. So you know what? I'm going to be like that mouse that's in your vineyards, never leaving. So
Awesome.
I'm so happy that we got to spend time with Bob and Marzia. I got it right this time. Murdoch. And it was so wonderful to actually have time to sit here at 180, enjoy the beautiful surroundings and these amazing wines. So listener, be sure to visit our show notes for a recap of the wines that we've tasted, along with our website, spillthewine.ca. And we're very excited about that, by the way. Can you tell? And you can also email us on there, contact@spillthewine.ca, and give us your thoughts about maybe wineries we should visit, or if you have questions about the wines, questions about how to get here. We are more than happy to answer those things. And also want to make sure to tell you to like and follow Spill the Wine on Facebook, Spill the Wine Podcast, and Instagram, _podcast. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell people you don't even like to listen to the podcast, because we want to hear from all of you. We're having so much fun doing this. We want to invite you also to do, maybe a Spill the Wine tour. You can sip the wine with Spill the Wine. You can look at the website for information about that. We're very, very happy to have you listening. Very happy for your support. And we would just like to say cheers, and we'll see you next time.